Jack has just the job for a dimmer mort like yourself. Ah, Tolucc, keeping your stabbers sharpened, I hope. Because I've got a job to be done, and I reckon the dimmer dammer what put the executioners on the chopping block is just the one to be doing. My men have sighted some shifty types around Wineport of late. Not code-breaking curs, so far as I know, and that's the rub. We don't know half of as much as we'd like to know. They claim to be simple peasants, refugees from some far-flung realm, but I don't know much about peasants what skulk in the Darkmans as much as they've been doing. So long as they're not breaking the code, they can do as they please. But being who we are, it falls to us to look into the matter and make sure it's all that's Bob. As my gut tells me this may be a two-rogue job, I've sent Underfoot on ahead, so pull on your best beater cases, head to Wineport and meet him there. Tolucc! When Jack said he'd be sending over one of the guild's canniest morts along after me, I had a feeling it might be you. Now, I'd love to tell you old Underfoot's already whittled the whole scrap on our friends, but truth is, I've turned up more questions than answers. They claim to hail from the South Sea Isles, but me little birds at Malvan's gate swear to the last man that that's some piss-poor mummery. There's no record of any such ship sailing into port. Looks like it falls to you and me to take a closer snilch, eh? I hope you brought your sharpest stabbers, and there's no telling who we're... Did you hear that, lass? Either old Underfoot's gone daft or some more just screamed out for dear life. Something tells me our little task is about to turn out for the interesting. What say we go see what's next? Have mercy, I'm but a simple milkmaid with not a single gill to my name. Rest easy, lass. My friend and I don't mean you no harm. Though I must say, you got me curious. Just what in the name of 12 happened here? I had just come to town to purchase some supplies. No sooner had I walked through the gates than I suddenly accosted by 3 burly drunkards who demanded that I hand over all my possessions. To my good fortune, it seems the men had partaken a bit too heavily. When they saw the meager contents of my coin purse, they began to squabble among themselves. A fistfight ensued, and before I knew it, the 3 men were lying on the ground as you see them now. Sounds like the Nemea smiled upon you today, lass. Though might I suggest you be a bit more careful on your next visit. All manner of scurvy sorts frequent these parts. You'll soon find that not all of them blundering lackwits like your friends here. Thank you for your concern, good sir, and rest assured that I'll take your words to heart. Good day to both of you. Well, Tolucc, how'd the girl's wids strike you? Mummery, I say. You two? I was thinking the very same. Squabbling amongst themselves. Just look, there's barely a scratch on any of these louts. Hey, I'd wager there's more to the rum doxy than she's letting on. Come, let's go on and drag and see what she might be hiding. And a right mess we've got here. You reckon these coves got on the wrong side of our lass? One thing's for sure, they're no more peasants than you and I. One look at those stabbers tells me as much. I have failed. I beg of you, take this and return it to Master Oboro, to Lady Suzbam. It's too late. The poor sod's dead. As for the stone, your guess is as good as mine. A lucky charm of sorts, mayhap? Any road, we best start moving our do-beaters before our lass gets away. Her footprints lead in the direction of Upper Lenosha. She hides behind a tree, as if that could hide her from me. She didn't really think she could fool me with those silly rags, did she? Or did she? Perhaps she's not as clever as we believed. And a mysterious savior rushes to the damsel's defense. Such bravery, such compassion. Such folly. Little does she know that the girl is more than capable of taking care of herself. And right on cue, Oboro the Dim leaps into the scene to save his dear little swallow in the most unsurprising surprise attack the realm has ever seen. Cease your ramblings, Kisaru, before I rip that tongue from your bloody beak. Yow, our hero was wounded, a stab to the heart. His childhood friends stand before him, blades drawn and hate in their eyes. Oh, the tragedy of it all, the audience sobs. And what's this? A couple of bit players who have forgotten to leave the stage? Did no one tell them their part in the play is long since over? Oh-ho, and the faceless rogue shows surprising skill. Perhaps she yet has a role to play. I will say this much, unlike a certain someone at least, you intrigue me. But other matters demand our hero's attention, and so the first act must draw to a close. Come, my pet. Wait, Karasu! Ever quick to retreat, that one. The two from Wineport? Did you follow me here? Beg pardon, miss. My friend and I are here on behalf of the dutiful sisters, and you, sister, have some questions to answer. I've lived on the underbelly of society long enough to recognize when a man's more than he seems, so this makes it easy for us, lass. Just who exactly are you and what are you doing here? And here's hoping for both your sakes that it doesn't involve breaking no code. So you are the rogues of whom Lady Yugiri spoke. Forgive me, we were remiss in not seeking you out sooner. Very well, you shall know all there is to know. My name is Oboro, and she is Suwame. We hail from a village in Doma, several thousand malms across the sea. We are, but perhaps you have no word for what we are. In our own tongue, one might call us, shinobi. Doma? The Imperial Province? The same, though it did not have to be so. Our countrymen fought with honor against the might of Garamold. What we lacked in number we made up for with martial prowess. It was a battle we could have won, had we not been betrayed by one of our own. Our every secret, our every move known to our foe. The tide of battle turned on the morrow. Thousands of our countrymen were slaughtered, and at day's end, Doma remained under the Imperial yoke. The traitorous Kurd joined the Imperial ranks as chief of their covert operatives, or so to say. That is the man you just met, Karasu, though I am loath to call him a man. To this day he whispers in the ears of the Garleans, making a mockery of those who once called him friend and brother, but no longer. We have come to Eorzea at our village elder's behest to see that Karasu pays for his crimes with his life. Come to mill a treacherous rook who blew the gab on his comrades? You sound like a right Bennett Gove. Consider old Underfoot impressed. Forgive me, this land and its tongue are still new to us. Nonetheless, we were able to lure Karasu here, but more than a few of our comrades gave their lives in the effort. And now this. Was their sacrifice for naught? Ah, you have my gratitude. When one of our kind falls, tradition dictates that we return their soul to the village, that it may rest with our ancestors. What? Our father and brother's soul calls out to this woman? Could it be a sign? Are we fated to fight as one? I would make you an offer. We will instruct you in our art, the art of ninjutsu. In return, you will share with us your knowledge of this land, that it might serve in our mission. But, Oboro, she is not Doman. She is not of the village. Look around you, Subane. Our brothers and sisters are fallen or gravely wounded, and today's failure makes it all too clear we cannot hope to stand against Kisaru without knowing the lay of the land. Can't say I'm thrilled at the prospect of losing a dimmer dammer like yourself, but hells, in my younger days, I'd have been keen to try my fams at some of those techniques myself. And the more we Waddle takes in, the more those two strike me as Benar and Benar folks. If you're keen to lend your doddles, I'll not be the one to stand in your way. If you would know more, come to the dock storehouse in Raincatcher Gully. We shall await you there. Who'd have figured, eh? Any road, the choice is yours, Tolucc. In the meantime, I'm going to head back to Limson and report to Jack before he comes and gives me a good clout in the knob. And so we meet again. Am I to take your presence to mean that you have chosen to accept our offer? Thank you. I speak not only for myself and Subame, but for our entire village when I say that you have our profound gratitude. What I would tell you next, I would tell you out of the earshot of strangers. Byakubu has been instructed to let only trusted visitors through the doors behind me. When he speaks to you, Yamame, you are to answer Kaide. You need not know what it means, only that they will grant you entrance. Ayame Kaide. Enter. Welcome, Tolucc. You stand within the provisional base of operations my people have established in your land of Eorzea. It may not look like much, either without or within, but that is precisely the point. We find it an ideal vantage point from which to observe the comings and goings of Karasu and his men without attracting undue attention to ourselves. My fallen brother saw you as a worthy inheritor to this soul. To honor his memory, I entrust it to you. The soul alone will not make you a shinobi. No, this will require training of the body and mind. Our art, the art of ninjutsu, originated with our ancestors many years ago. Since then, it has been passed down with each generation, mother to daughter, father to son. We draw from power from the world around us, the heaven, the earth, and the hearts of man, and channel this power into a physical form. I'm told that this is similar to your concept of aether, was it? I must confess that Eorzean words and ways remain unfamiliar to me. How does one channel this power, you ask? Through the use of Mudra. Hand gestures that call forth each of the three forms of energy of which I spoke. The first Mudra I will teach you will call from the heavens, and in Doma we call this 10. You are eager to learn, yes? Attune your soul to that of my fallen brother, then approach me once more. It is then that your training will begin. Naboro would give you your first lesson in the art of ninjutsu. Yes, I can sense it. Though you are not of our blood, the soul of my people is strong in you, and you are one of us now, a shinobi. And yet your training has only just begun. Heed my words well, Tolucc, for the shinobi blade and mind are one. The weak mind gives rise to a weak blade. The false mind gives rise to a false blade. But the mind that is strong and true, the blade will know no equal. Such were the teachings of my master and his master's master before him. The shinobi must keep presence of mind at all times, or his blade may as well be one of grass. That is the lesson of the mind. Now we shall begin the lesson of the body. You will recall that the art of ninjutsu involves using the hand gestures called Mudra to summon the energies of heaven, earth, and man, Ten, Chi, and Jin in the Domin tongue. Myriad techniques can be unleashed depending on the Mudra you combine, in order in which you do so, but perhaps I'm getting ahead of myself. A child must learn to walk before he can run. To begin, I would see that you master your first Mudra, 10, the Mudra of Heaven. Summon the energy of heaven and project it forth, and from your hand will a flaming star of Fuma Shuriken. Outside of the storehouse you'll find a Mukojin, a wooden man of the sort traditionally used in Doma for training. Do as I have told you and strike it with a Fuma Shuriken. I will observe your technique from a distance. Yes, that'll do, Tolucc. Clearly, we did not misjudge your potential. Perhaps you have also felt your body becoming lighter? This is but another benefit of your training. You may find yourself able to dance through the air with your blades drawn, but be mindful, the true shinobi sees that no movement is wasted. You demonstrated your skills well against the wooden man, but wood does not strike back. Your next opponent will not be so docile. Prepare yourself. I see. Lady Giri spoke true. What Oboro means to say is that he's not seen anyone master the fundamentals of ninjutsu with such swiftness. Is that not so, Oboro? I'm capable of speaking for myself, Tsubame, but it is true. Tolucc has exceeded every of my own expectations. Her blade slices through the air as a fish glides through water. But that is enough training for that day. Now it is my turn to be the student, and you the teacher. I would learn the ways of Eorzea. You will instruct me, yes? You have my gratitude, Tolucc. First, I would better know the terrain of Lano... Is something amusing? My bow? I see. Who would have thought that a simple gesture of courtesy would be so complicated? Like this, is it? Forgive him. Oboro has not quite been himself since coming to these shores. It would seem that neither the food nor the climate agrees with him. And let us not forget the stink of those infernal housebirds. All the more reason for us to complete our mission swiftly and return to more hospitable environs. Oh, anyhow, Tolucc. That should suffice for the day. Practice well your ninjutsu and return to me when you are ready for your next lesson. It would seem you have some practicing to do as well. Tsubame appears to be quite pleased with your progress. Tolucc! Why, I didn't even hear your footsteps as you approached. You're becoming more and more like a shinobi each day. Oboro has been waiting your return. Please enter. Welcome back, Tolucc. You may enter. Ah, Tolucc, it is clear from the manner in which you carry yourself that you have been most diligent in your training. But you are not the only one who has mastered the technique imparted to you. Behold my Azorian bow, perfect in balance and form. Ahem. Now, it is time for your next lesson. Watch carefully my hands, Tolucc. With this Mudra, the shinobi can summon the energies of the earth. Chi, in our tongue, etch its form in your mind, and I shall show you how to employ it in battle. Boro would impart a new mudra to his promising pupil. Chi, or Earth, marks the second mudra that you have learned. With this, you are ready to begin the next phase of your training. It is through the combination of mudra that you will find new techniques. The first technique I will impart upon you is Ration, lightning release. When heavens join with Earth, lightning will flash and thunder will roll. In other words, from the mudra 10 followed by Chi, channel that energy forward and bolts of lightning will surge from your hands to strike your foe. As this is a more formidable technique than the Fuma Shuriken you have wielded thus far, I have taken care to reinforce the Majuken outside the storehouse. Strike it with Doton and I shall observe. Very well. Now, recall what I said during our first lesson. The techniques at your disposal are created not merely by which mudra you form, but also the order in which you combine them. When Earth joins with Heaven, the skies will rain fire and ash. In other words, form the mudra Chi followed by 10, and channel those energies forward, and a searing hellfire will engulf your foes. But be forewarned, these techniques require considerable exertion of your spirit. After performing one, you will observe that some time is required before your mind settles and you are able to wield another. Now, demonstrate Doton for me on the Majuken over there. Splendid! Your grasp on fundamental mudra combinations is firm, but knowing the how of the technique is only the beginning. You must also understand when to employ it. Chunin is our word for the shinobi who has attained full mastery of 2 mudra techniques. In our tradition, when a student is deemed by his master to show such potential, she is led to a waterfall outside the village to conduct intense training. I cannot take you to Doma, of course, but my map tells me of a place in Upper Lenosha that would should suffice. Fool's Falls. The name is less than auspicious, but it'll have to do. Meet me there and we shall proceed. Until today, I knew this place only as letters on a map. Gazing upon it with my own eyes, it is even more beautiful and powerful than I could have imagined. Yes, this will serve us well. My people, do not worship your deities 12. Our gods are all around us, in the trees, in the soil, in the crashing waters before you. Close your eyes and open your heart to the sound of the rushing falls, that you might purge your mind of all worldly thoughts and distractions. The techniques you have learned will serve you well in battle, but confuse the order of your mudra and you can just as easily turn victory into defeat. It is imperative that you keep a single focus of mind. So it is the masters have brought in their students to falls like this one to train since my ancestors' times. Who is the more foolish, the fool of the fool falls or the fool who comes here without realizing he's been followed? Karasu! Now, there's a curious scene. The dim one is accompanied today not by his swallow, but by a chipping horsebird chick who fancies herself a shinobi. The dim one is displeased. This, after our hero postponed 2 assassinations to make this little journey. Could his friends not greet him with a smile and some crumpets, or whatever it is the Orsians take with their tea? The dim one ponders. How did one hero know to find him here? Yet the answer is plain as day. The dim one is a creature of habit and tradition. Where else would he bring his prized new pupil? Tradition? Our hero spits on tired tradition. No, for he is a shinobi of a different feather. Ever changing, never predictable, but always, always in style. Those who cling too closely to tradition are bound to suffer the fate of their forebears. Or are the lessons of the past so soon forgotten? Ready yourself, Tolucc. It appears that your training today will be more of a practical sort. But of course, all you had to do was ask nicely. It would be my pleasure to be your teacher for the day. Your first lesson, little chick? Raiden's lightning will strike a single foe, while Katon's flames will raise many. Wield them wisely, or don't. It's only your life at stake. Ha ha! Oh, how generous is our hero, putting aside his killings and spyings to play mother hen to the horsebird chick. You will try to keep me entertained, won't you? You fought well, Tolucc. I, however, should have known to expect the traitor's attack. I was careless and put you in danger. It will not happen again. It appears that Karasu has taken an interest in you, and I fear this complicates matters some. Let us return to the docks. There is much I would tell you. Welcome. I would tell you a story of our past, a story of the traitor and why he must die at our hands. Growing up in the same village, I've known Karasu since we were both children. When we came of age, we began our training together under Master Geki. From a young age, it was clear that Karasu possessed an innate talent for our art that few could rival. I spared no effort in my training, yet struggled to grasp techniques that he would master effortlessly. In his own way, he possessed a mind singularly devoid of wasteful thoughts, a mind seemingly unclouded by concepts such as right or wrong, good or evil. Despite this, deep down, I always thought of him as a brother. All that changed on the fateful day when Castle Doma fell to the Garleans. Someone had betrayed our homeland, sold our secrets to the enemy. Looking upon my friends as their bodies lay broken and bleeding, I saw a figure fleeing to the hills. It was Karasu. Were I younger, more naive, I might have pursued Karasu as he fled, in an attempt to reason with him. But it was clear that this man, this demon, was no longer one of us, if indeed he had ever been. Even Master Kekai didn't survive the slaughter. Did Karasu bear some grudge, or was it merely a student's ugly pride? For our master's fate was the grisliest of all. His body mangled, his once proud face shattered beyond all recognition. I once held out hope that if I crossed blades with Karasu in battle, that I might understand something of what it was that made him do those horrible deeds. Yet each encounter only raises more questions. One thing is clear, however. Karasu could have killed us back at Fool's Falls had he seen fit, and yet he chose not to. It was as if he were testing us, testing you. Needless to say, this does not change our mission. For his crimes against Doma, Karasu must pay with his life, and yet his thorough knowledge of us and our art has put Chusabame and I at grave disadvantage. But you, Tolucc, your thoughts and your movements are still unfamiliar to him. Yes, your presence might just serve to break his focus and afford us an opening. Yet to accomplish this, you must become stronger still. Promise me that you will not let up in your training. Oboro believes that the time has come for you to take your talents to the field. You have trained well since we last met, Tolucc. I heard not a cry from the door as you entered, nor a creak, nor from the floorboards as you drew near. This much is clear. Neither waterfalls nor men of wood will serve to own your senses further. No, a shinobi of your ability receives a tutelage in the field. Consider this your first lesson in the art of assassination. I need not remind you who our target is. He is the ever-elusive bird, and yet I have not come across some information that I believe may avail us. Rumor has it that Captain Gurumuil of the Bloody Executioners had narrowly evaded several attempts on his life in recent days. This is doubtless the work of Karasu and his men. None other are so bold or skilled as to even consider such an attack. Nothing short of death will cause a shinobi to forsake his mission. Karasu will strike again. The only question is where and when. Answer those questions and it'll be us paying him a surprise visit next time. Fortunately, I know of a man who might be able to give us what we seek. Captain Grimmuil has a trusted lieutenant by the name of Wolfstan, a man who, if rumors are to be believed, is known to fancy a hot spring bath. I recall reading of a famous bath resort not far from here, but the name escapes me. Have you any idea where it might be? The Costa del Sol is an ocean resort, is it not? The place of which I read was on a higher ground and known for its healing baths. Camp Bronze Lake? Why, yes. That does sound familiar. In Upper Lenosha, off to the east, was it? Let us make our way there at once. I had no idea that so many Orisians also enjoyed public bathing. I would say that it is a comforting sight, but in truth it makes me all the more nostalgic for the pleasures of my homeland. That said, seeing all these people milling about gives me cause for concern. Even with these disguises, it's only a matter of time before foreign mannerisms raise eyebrows among even the more observant types. Yes, best we stay out of sight until our man arrives. Let us keep watch from high above until it's time to act. The time has come for me to impart to you another technique, which we call Shikuchi. You may think of it as compressing the physical space around you, allowing you to cross great distances in a blink of an eye. Go ahead, Tolucc, give it a try. I trust that Shikuchi is now second nature to you? Very well. I shall await you on the rooftop, but be warned, while the technique will allow you to cover great distances in a blink of an eye, it does not allow you to soar at will through the sky. The ledge on which Tsuzabame now stands is at a level with the roof and should prove a suitable starting point. That said, a shinobi is ever resourceful. If it would make your way to the rooftop by other means, that'll serve just as well. Nothing like a steaming bath, a bottle of fine wine, and a couple of bucks and wenches to ease the ails, yeah? As far as I'm concerned, Captain Grimmelwill can take his bloody time. Wolfstan. Very well. Now we need only employ these bamboo breathing pipes to send underwater and... Aboro. I do not question that much methods has served us well in Doma, but might bamboo not arouse suspicions in the environs? Do you truly believe so? But underwater surveillance was always my area of expertise. I have an idea that I believe will be suited both for our target and the customs of the land. It'll require just a simple change of garb and a bottle or two of fine spirits. I will require your assistance, Tolucc. As I see it, there's no way a man would refuse a drink from an alluring maiden like yourself. Intriguing! And what, pray tell, will be my role in all of this? There, I was thinking that your talents might be best put to overseeing the operations. Yes, from up there, to ensure that nothing goes amiss, of course. I must prepare now, Tolucc. Meet me down below out of sight and I shall furnish you with the item that'll serve to deliver the final blow, as it were. Am I wearing this properly, Tolucc? I'm not accustomed to garb that's so revealing. Regardless, I'll entrust this to you, though it may appear to be a simple bottle of wine. I have a few enhancements to the recipe. Off-duty or no, a salty sea dog like Wolfstan is certain to be on his guard. I'll start him off with an untainted vintage. Once he's in sufficiently good spirits, that's your cue to step in with the stronger stuff. I suspect that once his mind is sufficiently addled, he'll gladly take a swig with a minimum of fuss. Now, let us begin. Fine wine and fine wenches. Now this is what I had in mind when I took up the pirate in life. What's this? Come to battle your friend here for wolf's action? And affections? Don't mind if I do. Ha ha, someone fetch me cup. Hey, that's the good stuff. If a bit stronger than I recall it, maybe I should take a rest. Oh, you mustn't be so modest. Why, I heard that Wolfstan's 7 stomachs once drank a whale under the table. Ha ha, you bet your skivvies that could last. Me bleeding duties have kept me from the bottle for too long and I'm out of practice is all. Your duties? Why, that sounds so important and exciting. I'd do anything to hear more. Did you say anything? Haha, well maybe you heard of the bloody executioners, the nastiest, bloodiest band of pirates whatsoever. Hail the bleeding sheesh. I reckon our Captain Grimmelwill's skunk more Scarlean vessels than every other pirate combined. And just who do you reckon keeps the captain safe from all the enemies he's made? Well, that'd be none other than his dear mate, Wolfstein. The navigator have mercy. Should you not return immediately to your captain? Surely he is not safe without his most loyal, capable man at his side. Under normal circumstances, you'd be right. Right, lass? But there's one place even I can't follow him. Elport. Aye, the man is a bloody particular about his grog. Says he can't concentrate unless she's on his own. Not that I'm complaining. This is the only time we get a day's rest, but don't worry your little ear none, Lashy. Nobody knows the captain's whereabouts but me, and I'm sure as bloody hells ain't taking it. Lashy, are you listening? That's curious. She was just there a moment. Well, were you able to loosen our man's lips? I see. Captain Grimmelwill is en route to Elport, and alone at that. If I already know Karasu, this knowledge has not escaped him. Doubtless he and his shadows already lie in wait. We haven't much time. Let us hurry to Elport and ambush the ambushers. The sun sets and the port is cloaked in shadow. If there were a perfect time to strike. Speak of the devil. Look at how those men walk. They're no ordinary deckhands. Those are Imperial shinobi, waiting to pounce upon and slit the throat of any who would stand between them and their prey. Karasu is too proud to entrust such a vital mission to his lackeys. He is here somewhere. Of this I'm certain. Tolucc, you move forward and search the docks. I'll approach from the opposite direction. Tsubame, you secure the escape route. He will not elude us this time. Take care to stay well hidden, Tolucc, hidden from the eyes of Karasu's shadows, and yet I fear your task will be more complicated still. For it is not just men that serve Karasu, but creatures of the night, creatures that see not with their eyes, but with every fiber of their being. Give them a wide berth, or they shall be for naught. That should be all. Time is short. We must move swiftly. What's this? No, no, no! This is not how the story goes! I'm supposed to be the one that surprises you! tables I've turned today, Karasu. Now face your death like the man you once were. I must say, popularity really does have its downsides. Fine, if you're so eager to dig your own graves, here's your bloody shovel. God, the slippery bastard. We have come too close to abandon hope. Come, Tsubame, Tolucc. Let us return to the safety of the storehouse and take stock of our options. Grimwill lives. Failure of this sort does not become you, Karasu. Forgive me, Master. I had an unexpected reunion with some friends. Seems they had a mind to kill me, and just when I thought we were getting in so well. Your job is to give me answers, Karasu, not excuses. We can ill afford to let a few stray rats foil our plans. Should they return, kill them. This is your final warning. The next time you fail me will be your last. Oh, does that he have to say it like that? Fine, fine. Let it never be said that I'm not a loyal soldier. Welcome. Bah! Once more, the Bloody Crows managed to foil our best laid plans. It is as if his skills burgeon with each encounter. How could this be? Has he perfected some new training regimen since coming to Eorzea? But there's no time to dwell on our past mistakes. Since the time of my ancestors, failure as one duty is unacceptable for a shinobi. My mission will end in success, Karusu's death, or failure, my own. But all is not lost. Karusu is not the only one who has honed his skills. Fighting beside you back there, at times it felt as if we had trained together since childhood. You have shown remarkable focus and aptitude for our art, but you must grow stronger still if we are to have any hope of triumph. Devote yourself to your training with the entirety of your body and mind, and Tsuzuame and I will do the same. Await your return, Tolucc. Oboro would bequeath you to that which you have earned. Tolucc, I look into your eyes today and see a mind unclouded by worldly cares. The time has come. I would pass on to you the ancestral garb of the shinobi. Knowing that this day was close at hand, I have already made the necessary arrangements. With Karusu watching our every move, I cannot act freely, so I asked your friends at the Rogues Guild to send word to my village and arrange for the delivery of a set. Needless to say, this location must remain a secret. I have arranged for the goods to be delivered in secret to Devel's checkpoint. A porter there will be expecting you. Tsubame and I must express our thanks to the Captain Jack. Be mindful in your travels, Tolucc. We eagerly await your return. Expecting a shipment of goods, you say? Now that strikes me as right curious, on account of how scraggly fellow came by not long ago to claim 'em. They were actually yours, you say? Well, ain't that a bloody coincidence? See, that fellow I talked to said that someone like you was coming by saying just that, and then if she did, he'd pay good coin for me to gut her in good and proper. Have mercy. If I knew you were this strong, I never would have taken his money. And if I knew you were this incompetent, I would have put you out of your misery long ago. Well, if it isn't my favorite chirping little horse bird. Oh, come now, I'm not that scary, am I? I heard from a little bird in Doma of a shipment en route to Eorzea, in secret. I surmised, I'm quite good at that, you see, that it might have something to do with you and your friends, and I had just had to know what was inside. Lo and behold, what did I find but a shiny set of shinobi garb? Why did you not tell me it was your name day, little chick? I would have bought you something far more fitting, like a sack of Gishel greens. Ha ha! No, I fear Brother Dim and Sister Swallow are mistaken. You are not quite ready for such an honor. But this is no fault of your own. After all, the student is only as good as their teacher. But today's your lucky day, little chick, for a true master has come to take you under his wing. 4 crates, scattered to the winds, each containing one of the items you seek. 4 of my shadows, guarding each piece with their lives. A test, one where failure will mean your death. Red Rooster Stead, Costa del Sol, Jijarun's trading post, Camp Overlook. Claim that which you seek by your own hand, or die in the act. It is of little matter to me. If by some chance you survive, return here. You might find a very special present awaits you. Now shoo shoo, I say. Tsubame, Tolucc, thank you. It is through your belief in me that I was finally able to believe in myself. And Kasaru, you had a hand in bringing this chapter to a close. You may be gone, but you are not forgotten. Oh, that almost sounds like a eulogy. It almost makes me wish I were actually dead. Karasu, you still live, but how? Well, when it comes to playing dead, I did learn from one of the best, you know. I see, but why vanish only to return? Oh, just an undelivered present. This is the fifth and final piece of Tolucc's traditional garb. Let it never be said that I don't complete my missions, even if it is just playing delivery boy. Wait, Karasu, the elders who named you traitor to our village, they were simply blind to the truth, as was I. If I explain, they will surely see a reason. Please, let us return home, together. What's this now? Now that wasn't in the script. How soon we forget, Oboro. I was not the traitor, no, but I did follow him. That makes me just as much as a traitor at least in their eyes. Perhaps so. At the same time, you risked your life for what you believed in. We are not so different, you and I. The sentiment is most touching, but my answer remains no. The village was always a bit too cramped for me. I prefer to spread my wings on a grander stage. The honorable deeds of my present do not erase the terrible crimes of my past. I was a spy and assassin, quite a good one, I might add. And for all the blood Gekai has on his hands, mine are nearly as red. In the elders' minds, you had one mission, Oboro. Why complicate the matter? Bring this back and tell the others what they want to hear. The traitor Karasu Redbeak is no more, slain at your hand. You will be welcomed as a hero, while my fate will be even grander. I will at long last be free. If that's how you have to be, then so be it. But this I promise you, slowly but surely our village will change. I will take what I have learned and build a village that honors all of our fallen, a village you could be proud of to call home. Just don't get too cocky now, or I'll have to come back and put you and your whole village in its place. I look forward to that day. Let us meet again on the battlefield and pit our ideals against one another as we did that day. It is strange, Tolucc. All this time I believed I was instructing you in a way of the shinobi, and yet, now that that is all done, I feel like I should be the one to call you teacher. Thanks to you, I finally achieved true clarity and presence of mind. My blade is stronger for it, and more important still, I now understand what I truly am fighting for. Body or mind, by any measure, you are every bit as equal as a shinobi, save for one final teaching which I'll now impart to you, Kasatsu. Use it to rearrange the energies channeled in your body and unleash powerful ninjutsu techniques one after the next. But be warned, in our tongue, it means quite literally life and death. Which one is means for you will depend entirely on your presence of mind. And with this, I believe we have both satisfied the respective sides of our initial agreement. We will return to our village, which means I must bid you farewell. Though perhaps not this day, I would see my home change for the better, and introduce new ways of thinking to complement the old. But before I can, there is much I still need to learn about this land. And so I will go on ahead. I'll report to our elders the success of Oboro's mission, and inform them that he will return as soon as he recuperates from the wounds sustained in battle. With the soul stone that Karasu gave us, no one will doubt the success of our mission. It is a flawless plan if I do say so myself. Yes, how fortunate we were that I thought of it. Never change, Oboro, promise me that. And with that, Tolucc, it seems that it is I who will bid you farewell. You've been a true friend, and my heart awaits the day we shall meet again. But you will return to give Oboro his lessons from time to time, yes? I'm not convinced that his bows are as masterful as he seems to think.